Welcome to our Uniondale Upper Elementary year-end production. The pandemic has been a time of grief, isolation, online schooling, you name it. But we at the Academy, we are resilient and we are able to rise above our challenges. Today, we will highlight some of those resiliency in the form of a skit, dancing, singing, you name it. Please sit back and enjoy our presentation. Thank you.
It's been such a while since we've gathered up like this because of the pandemic. Let's order.
I could order a lemonade.
I could go for a lemonade as well.
I could go for vanilla latte.
I could go for some bubble tea.
I could have some iced tea.
I think I could go for a croissant and some lemonade.
I would love to order a milkshake.
Bellamy, how was your experience during the pandemic?
The virus made me afraid. Many people were dying. I didn't want to come to my house. I didn't want to die. I told my mother I wanted to stay home for Zoom and everything else. But of course, she convinced me otherwise. So now I'm coping and moving forward.
That's very good. How was your experience during the pandemic, Layla?
When the pandemic first came, I didn't believe it was real. I felt like I was dreaming. Everyone sanitizing, not sharing, and I couldn't hang out with you guys. I felt alone and angry. I felt like I didn't want to go to school. However, now I'm doing good and doing great at school as well.
That's good. How was your experience during the pandemic, Robert?
My experience during the pandemic was very frightening. It scared me half to death when I went on the news. It scared me half to death when I went on the news to see if the COVID cases were going down or up, and also the COVID-19 deaths. It really frightened me how half of the hospitals around the world were filled with patients, and I just hope that COVID would tone down a bit and we would actually have to live our actual lives.
How was your experience during the pandemic, Aiden?
The pandemic took away my fun time. I couldn't do anything. All I had to do was stay home. I couldn't even see my friend who lived down the block. But hopefully, when Corona is over, I'd be able to spend some time with my friends.
I felt the same way, Kaden. How was your experience during the pandemic, Mia?
When the pandemic hit, I was happy. I got to sleep late. I got a lot of break time. I did everything in one place. I still did my schoolwork and assignments because when school opened up, I didn't want no problem with my teacher. Thank you. That's amazing, Mia. How was your experience, Landon?
My experience during the pandemic was frightening. My mom had lost her sense of smell, so I would have to smell the food she had cooked to make sure it was properly cooked. As COVID-19 toned down, I was able to go back. I was able to go outside and play with friends. Ajay, how was your experience during the pandemic?
My experience during the pandemic was very upsetting and frightening because when the pandemic first started, I was very upset about me not being able to go outside with my friends. And I was also scared because if I went outside, I thought that I would automatically just get COVID. And since I was so afraid, I stayed in my house for almost a year. And when the Christmas came around, I was very excited. But the day after, my grandaunt died because she died from COVID, and after that, I was very upset, but now I'm doing better and I've pushed past what's happened. Thank you.
It's sad to hear that, Ajay, but I hope you're doing better now.
I'm very sorry for your loss, Ajay.
Ajay, I hope you feel better about this loss.
Ajay, I wish you and your grandma the best of luck.
My condolences, Ajay.
I feel the same way, Ajay. My grandpa died too.
You may write me not history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may tread me the right dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise.
Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I wow, like I got oil up in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, like folks trading highs, still I rise.
Did you want to see me with my broken bowed head, lowered eyes, lower shoulders, like weeping teardrops coming from my soulful cry?
Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh. Ha 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 ha. Like I got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I rise. I am a black ocean, leaping and wide, fierce and strong, all bear in the tide. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of a slave. I rise. I rise. I rise.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. The silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again.
one time back